6.1 billion. To me, it's a massive number, hard to quantify and scale. If you think about it in weight, in pounds, it would be about 68,000 737 airplanes. In dollars and cents, if you have $6.1 billion in pennies and you stood them side by side, that's enough pennies to go around the Earth's circumference 291 times. So why is this number relevant? The Boston Celtics of the NBA were recently purchased for $6.1 billion. This marked the largest transaction in U.S. sports history to date. On the National Football League side, if you took the combined team values of the NFL, they would be about a Fortune 70 company. The combined NFL team values are worth more than the market caps of companies such as Intel, Nike, Starbucks, and Uber. As an avid sports fan my whole life, I believe we all do three things that connect us to sports. Some of us might do one, some of us might do two, some of us might even do all three. First, we watch, we consume, we engage with sports. We do fantasy sports or we bet on sports, but it's entertainment for us. The second part, we work out, we count our steps. We're the athlete. We're always focused around our health. And the third, we have a child, grandkid, niece, nephew, and think they could be the next LeBron James, Serena Williams, or Caitlin Clark. So there's the you side. Now, as a venture capitalist for over a decade, my job is to try to predict and invest in the future. I'm always on the hunt for the next great idea, entrepreneur, or investment opportunity. And my goal is to build businesses from startups to large global successes. Since 1999, my business partner, we've done just that. Get in early, find amazing entrepreneurs, and help them succeed. And that's worked well for us, really well. But around 2015, we started to feel that the early stage investment space was oversaturated. Being a generalist in the space without a direct focus for us, we started to feel like sheep. There were too many investors fighting for too few deals. This rarely leads to the investment outcomes that you desire. The entire space starts to get watered down. We found ourselves in an investor's dilemma. Do we keep staying on the same course and path, or do we go in a different direction? You'd be surprised how many investors have the herd mentality, a flock of sheep. Keep it down the middle, do okay. But that doesn't work for us. That doesn't work for me at our firm. So, just like the entrepreneurs that we invest in, we asked ourselves, what's next? We took a step back, evaluated, questioned ourselves, questioned the overall market. And just like the entrepreneurs, we grabbed the whiteboard. We started to write investment areas of focus for us. Oil, credit, energy, health, sports. We actually wrote sports day one on the whiteboard, but stared at it for months, along with a few of the other ideas. Back then, we believed that sports could be its own asset class, meaning one that garnered enough attention and interest that it could stand on its own. What might seem obvious today, remember, we all do one of three things. Back then, sports was something that wasn't there yet, and we believed we could be the ones to do it. So we proclaimed that sports was the next great asset class for investing, and we were going to be the ones to do it. And like all investors, it comes down to timing and luck. 4 major occurrences moved in our favor. May 14th, 2018, PASPA was repealed. PASPA was a 1992 law that said it was illegal for states to have betting other than Nevada. With the repeal and the overturning of the law, each state was allowed to regulate betting. When this occurred, we looked at ourselves and thought, wow, this could be really big. At the time, billions of dollars were being bet on sports, both legally and illegally. We also believed that it was going to be hyper-competitive, but we knew if this industry grew exponentially and we invested across it, it could work out really well for us. So we moved quickly, got to work, started investing. But when we look back, very few other investors were also investing. Why? Many believed that only a handful of states would regulate sports betting. Furthermore, wouldn't be that big or that popular. In 2018, the year PASPA was repealed, $8 billion was bet on sports. Last year in 2024, $148 billion was wagered on sports legally across 39 states and DC. However, today only 50% of our country lives in a state that has betting. It doesn't include California, Texas, or Georgia. As an investor, these are the opportunities that you look for. This is how you can create outsized returns. The second occurrence, it was the year 2020. We were all at home. While at home, we were online, we were streaming, gaming, betting, playing esports, video games, board games. When the pandemic finally started to ease, we all wanted to go outside. We wanted to be with our friends. We wanted to enjoy entertainment. We all had cabin fever. So what did? We started spending time, resources, and capital on entertainment. Think Taylor Swift or your favorite sports team. The third macro trend, the rules changed. Today, private equity is now allowed to own minority stakes in professional teams in the United States. Each league has its own set of rules and regulations. Most limit the number of teams or the amount of ownership. Remember, the Boston Celtics were sold for $6.1 billion. Private equity is part of that transaction. The last trend, the changing across college and high school athletics, what has been dubbed NIL, or name, image, and likeness. Today, college, and in some cases, high school athletes can monetize their NIL. Candidly, the college space is a mess. It's in flux. But with all disruption, there's opportunity. The space is right for entrepreneurs, innovation, and technology to make it better. These industry tailwinds have propelled us into a new asset class today, sports. Industry experts are valuing it in the trillions of dollars. Over the last year, you now have investment banks such as JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. They have dedicated teams focused on sports. Furthermore, media outlets like CNBC are now covering the business side of sports just as they would the broader markets. I think back to 2015 and that whiteboard. What if we didn't go all into sports? What if we chose a different area or thought maybe it was just too obvious? What if? What if? Business is no different than our personal lives. We have decisions and moments that are defining. On the personal front, we weigh decisions around ourselves. We use gut and instinct. We weigh pluses and minuses. We make a decision and we move forward. In business, the decision process is pretty similar, but typically there's more involved complexity and nuances. But when you peel the decision back and you use instinct and analysis, you're able to move forward and bet on yourselves. That is what we did. We bet on ourselves. Paralysis by analysis. It's a real threat. It's a threat to us both personally and professionally. Will we miss out on a larger opportunity by second guessing, or even worse, not taking action? So, I ask you, what in your lives have you been thinking about, but you haven't taken action, you haven't moved forward on? Maybe it's close to you. Maybe it almost seems too obvious. The thing that could alter the course of your life or career, or both, could be right in front of you. And that's the big idea. For us, it was sports. So think creatively, think differently, bet on yourself across all you do. Evaluate opportunities, but make a decision and go. You might have uncovered the next opportunity that could change your life. You might have uncovered a new investment asset class. In the end, you'll never know if you don't take a leap. Thank you.